Alright, welcome back to another video. I apologize for the kind of drought on uploads, but Halloween update for Crusaders was really grindy. I am going to work on making a video of that, but I don't have Alucard yet, so I was hoping to get him, but I'll just do a video without him, and then when I do get him, I'll make a video on that. This video is just Rimuru, so if you want to see the other Halloween units, that'll go up probably the day after this one comes out. I just want to make things clear. I've been fighting with my editing software for a couple of weeks. I finally, I think, got it truly fixed, and I can actually edit and not have my files blow up. It's been very difficult, but we're good now. Hopefully, we'll see in the next couple of days if things break again. I've got this video planned, the rest of the Halloween units for another video, and then I've got a Crusaders video, and I'm going to start uploading back on the main channel again. That was the main one I really couldn't do stuff for because it takes a long time to edit those videos, and they were prone to blowing up in the middle of me trying to work on them. But yeah, that's enough about that. Let's just get straight into the video. So I've had some time to play around with the new Rimuru God. They kind of figure out how he works, the best ways to use him and all that. This I don't think would be the legitimate team I'd run with him, but I'm trying to just test him out for today's video. The other units are gonna get their own video because honestly, he's gonna take a while to explain and figure out. I don't have souls on him, so it's just gonna be his stats plus skill tree. Hey, see, lots of active skills. I'm not going to go through and read what all of them do right now. I'm going to read through them as they come up, same with the passives. But form select, there's two forms. There's True Dragon, which as far as I'm aware, is the one you want to take pretty much every time. And the True Dragon active, enhance movement. I don't know what this means, enhance movement and damage drastically. It doesn't seem to change a whole lot. And then remove this active after selection, or CL form. Lose access to reality warping, absorb a random element every 100 seconds, absorb every 25th enemy killed in range, and automatically combine compatible skills, and removes this effect after selection. I'm just going to show True Dragon. CL seems to be for more progressive modes, where you just want to have him set up whatever skills he has. But let's just... I'm going to place everybody down. We got the heal unit. Yeah, you get a sneak peek at that animation. So, skill crafting. You need a manipulation and a magic. With his godly buff, for each unique element you have on your team, you get one of each magic skill. Manipulations, however, are obtained. Manipulation skills consume allies with soul gluttony to gain a permanent manipulation skill based on the ally's element. The problem with Soul Gluttony is that it removes one placement from that unit. So I would not recommend doing it this way immediately. Instead, you can use Reality Warping. Since my team is missing water in nature, I will use water. And then use Regular Gluttony on an ally, and you will gain both their manipulation and the element you selected. So we get those two. I will read through what the advanced skills do later, but I just want to kind of explain how this stuff works first. And technically, you don't have to upgrade him with the way one of his things works. This to come back off, cooldown, grab nature, this, gluttony, and then I can just consume the rest of these. Oh, and I need to do light as well, I forgot. But yeah. I guess I have time while it's on cooldown to read what the advanced skills do. So the advanced effects, you have Ifrit, which gives you black flames. Enemies with greater than or equal to 3 burn type DOTs take plus 45% damage. Undyne, you gain freeze, plus 25% crit chance, and plus 75% crit damage, plus 40% damage versus frozen enemies. Gaia, you gain stunned, wind shear, 10% damage per effect on enemy. Amaterasu, you gain solar flames. Solar flames damage cap set to 500% instead of 350%. And then Nyx, you gain pressure, 50% chance to summon enemies at 40% max HP. Cthulhu gained weakened plus 60% damage for each unit placement sacrificed. That'll come into play later, but we can use reality warping, light, that, gluttony, ally, that. Now we have all of those made. What needs to be done next is you need to do this. Or that's your next goal, really, is so you need to max out this meter. True Dragon ability is upon activation, select a unit to sacrifice, sell the selected unit, and receive 10% of its cost back. You add the unit's total cost to the True Dragon meter, and when the meter reaches 1 million, you deal 25 times damage in this unit's range. Time stop all enemies for 30 seconds, and unlock ultimate and unique skills, but you lose the active. So we'll upgrade him to there. True Dragon, consume. Doing that, as we saw, unlocks the ultimate skills. Ultimate skills are just combinations of your advanced skills. I will read through all of them once I claim them all here. Thing is, when you craft one, because it uses advanced skills, you have to recraft your advanced. Luckily, it's all very quick. You don't have to build your resources back up again. I've seen some people saying this unit is not good. I don't know. I can't agree with that personally. I understand, oh, you're wave 41, this takes so much setup. Truthfully, it doesn't have to take this much setup. You could just setting up his advanced skills and upgrading him is plenty good. Because you will have a lot of these DOT effects, and his passives are all very solid. So now that we have all the advanced skills, oh, I gotta make Cthulhu again. For the ultimate skills, we'll read through those. And they do stack with the advanced skills, that's why you recraft them. Ultimate skills. Lucifer, you get black flames plus blue flames plus pressure. 75% chance to summon enemies at 150% max HP. 200% if greater than 20 summons. On summon death, follow up for 50% damage and detonate all burn type DOTs for full value. Terra, wind shear plus frostbite. Heal base plus 1 stock every 45 seconds, overheal to 10. For base stocks over 5, plus 40% damage each, plus 20% damage per effect on enemy. If base stocks greater than 7, each attack deals 1% current enemy HP. Tsukiyomi, gain pressure, range set to 300. Crit chance set to 90%, plus 200% crit damage. This passive I'm a little confused on. I remember reading through this before. Buff allies in range, plus 25% crit chance and plus 100% crit damage. Crit chance buffs on True Dragon God. I assume the arrow means become... So range and crit damage buffs become just damage. So if I do this... Is this damage buff before? Was it 200%? Okay. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I'm assuming if you try and buff his range or his crit damage, they just become damage buffs, since these are supposed to be locked. I don't know if that actually works, so I feel like I've seen his crit damage go up. So, that was Tsukiyomi. We then have... Freya. Enemies that enter True Dragon God's range become flying. Air allies gain plus 30% damage. True Dragon God deals plus 200% damage to flying enemies. And then Yogg-Sothoth, plus 75% damage per unit slot sacrificed, whispers a greater purpose. This is the secret thing that people have been talking about, if you've seen that mentioned. Now, a lot of people, you need to sacrifice your unit slots for it. That's the simplest way to put it. However, a lot of people just probably do this because it sacrifices all the slots instantly. However, I would suggest you don't do it that way. Instead, I didn't max her out, I forgot. You use Soul Gluttony, because each time you do this, you buff damage of every unit in range by 30%, including himself. The rest of the stuff Soul Gluttony does doesn't really help here. And honestly, I don't know if you want to bother using Soul Gluttony beyond this, because Reality Warping and Gluttony are better overall, just for setting up your things. This team, I was just running for Halloween mode. Rimuru can solo pretty much forever. You can get like 1,000,000 candies in one run, going, just overnighting. It's kind of nuts. So, Soul Gluttony, you. I would build up more cash, but it's not that important, really. So we'll do that. And that's why I didn't upgrade it. So let's see, we went through all of these. Now he has 3 new passives for obtaining his Greater Purpose. Greater Purpose, plus 200% damage per unit slot sacrificed. So in total, 1000%. Then, plus 50% damage and range per 100 kills, cap 1000% total bonus damage. The interesting thing is that his range doesn't go up because it can't. And honestly, it doesn't need to. So I think, as I said, with this, crit damage and range buffs get converted into damage. So it's, you know, instead of getting just 50% damage per 100 kills, he's getting 100% per 100 kills. It's a huge buff. That's why it's, you know, 3000% damage. Then you have Endless Misery. Every 6th attack, rewind all enemies on the map for 7 seconds, 20-second cooldown. Deal 7 times True Dragon God's damage to the entire map. Keep in mind that stacking with the fact that all enemies are turned into flying and automatically take 2 times damage from him, on the top of the fact that he will always crit for roughly 4 times his damage, you're hitting literally hundreds of billions every hit. Also, I actually think he is not skill tree, now that I'm thinking about it. There's Draconic Aura. When an enemy first enters 20% of True Dragon God's range, apply Despair and Weakened, rewind 15 seconds, and deal 50 times damage, cap 1 trillion. It's interesting they put a damage cap on this, but that's probably completely reasonable. If the enemy stays inside this 20% area for 20 seconds, deal 2 times damage every 5 seconds until it leaves. So, you know, 40 billion. If it's affected by Fray, it'd be 80 billion. And then if that can be applied with crit, it'd be, you know, 400 billion or something like that. Not precise numbers. I didn't go and do all the math. Then you have Raphael the Great Sage. This is why I was talking about money. True Dragon God is treated as fully upgraded, which is, again, why I didn't spend any money upgrading him. For every 1,000,000 yen the player has, plus 150% damage. Super strong. If you wait longer in an infinite to build up money, obviously this damage buff has no cap, so you could get so much money. And he's just, yeah, he's so strong. I mean, for infinite modes, for the new Halloween mode, he's super good. But now he has, I guess only 2 new active abilities. Azathoth is obtained from having Yogg-Sothoth. I realized I didn't read that earlier. Azathoth is upon activation, sacrifice every unit slot on your team except True Dragon God. Deal 25 times this unit's total damage times slot sacrificed to all enemies. This would be a quicker way of sacrificing all your unit slots than Soul Gluttony, but honestly, you shouldn't need to do it quickly. Even without it set up, he's still doing tons of damage. There's Beelzebub. Upon activation, execute all non-boss enemies below 75% HP. Consume executed enemies to gain their magic skill. I don't really see the point in that, but because as far as I'm aware, having extra copies of magic skills doesn't do anything. You just have them. Like the skills and stuff themselves don't actually do much. Maybe it enhances things. I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere, but I don't believe so. And then then that has a 600-second cooldown. Did I read the last part? No, enemies are executed. It time stops the map for 60 seconds. I think I read that, but I honestly don't remember now. Multiversal Collapse is upon activation, instantly kill all enemies in range. Does not affect bosses disabled in tournaments. 2,000 second global cooldown. It's literally an insta-kill for everything except bosses, but it's not a one-time use, and this is an execute that's very similar, that's not a one-time use. Azathoth, surprisingly, is a one-time use, but I think this nuke, I mean, just 10 times damage is 220 billion, so, 440, 550 billion times 5 is, actually, it's not even that much, to be honest. And I don't even know if it would work if you sacrifice them through Soul Gluttony, because I can't sacrifice the slots again. But yeah, his damage stacking, his just everything is super broken. I mean, 7 billion DPS is nuts. Now, I've seen the argument that he's not good because you can't do this in progressive modes, or like 15 wave modes. Personally, that's not what he's designed for. However, it's not impossible. I don't think you could set up that form in a 15 wave mode, but you could absolutely get his advanced skills up in a 15 wave mode. I don't have the most recent map unlocked because I'm lazy on story mode. We'll do... I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not going to be that hard. I'm going to run around 2x speed because doing all the things is a little slow. I have auto ready on because I actually do want to put a soul on him. I would say this is the best one for him, especially if you're trying to do the reality warping thing instead of the other one. I want you to set up your farms. I might try out CL form, see if it's any good. I truthfully don't know. I've never used it because I've never seen the use of it. You probably can't lead with Rimuru, which is totally fair. Actually, honestly, I probably could have, but whatever. We'll leave it on 3x until wave 10. Again, I don't think you can set up that final form in a 15 wave mode, but I don't think that makes him useless. I think he's plenty good even without it. It's just definitively he's the best in that special mode. I will say also, maybe not everybody's going to have a glitched mystical Bulma or, you know, all glitched everything. So I understand that helps. If you only have like entrepreneurs or whatnot, it's probably not as doable. We'll do that. We're going to just drop these units down. We can probably actually upgrade him. Reality warping, water, and then gluttony. Yeah, we'll take CL form. Okay, because you can do the reality warping beforehand. Because CL form is supposed to automatically make the combinations. But I don't know if it actually works. Truthfully, I don't know how it works, so that's another thing to consider. He's supposed to absorb enemies in range and occasionally absorb teammates. But no, honestly, I think CL form is not needed. Regardless, this, you know, Black Flame, Freeze, Weakened, he's gonna deal with your 15 wave modes regardless. 20 wave modes, I genuinely think you can set up his other form, like in a legend stage or whatnot. It's a lot of micromanaging of all of the active skills, so I understand why some people don't like it. I was originally thinking it was that I was going to have that opinion about it, but it just don't really matter to me because it's a relatively simple system. I do want to test my idea about legend stages. I still need to get the brand of sacrifice for guts if I ever decide to do that, so do this. Yeah, maybe I don't see the use of CL form, but True Dragon form just seems better. The fact that it gives you the access to reality warping and to the advanced skills if you reach them just seems way more useful. 28 million. I definitely think the best two godlies are him and Naruto. Naruto probably has a lot more easier general use. So again, I don't blame anybody for preferring that. Come on. At the same time, though, Rimuru is perfect seal. He's pretty much always doing 2 times damage. I don't think I brought that up when I had him maxed out before. He technically always does 2 times damage. Form select, True Dragon. These 2. Reality warping, water. Gluttony, ally. Fire, water. So now, just from that, take him to upgrade 5. I would say I wouldn't recommend using him for, 15, 20 wave modes. You're gonna have a better time using Naruto or Johnny. They're just more built for that. Rimuru is definitely designed for long wave modes. Which I don't know. I don't really know why there seems to be an issue with that for people personally, but I don't really get it. Because I think it's fine to have some units that are just designed for a specific thing. Like, I never thought Johnny was that good for infinites, and it generally shows in his damage. It's mostly his passives that make him good because of the rewinds and stuff. You gotta use this one time. Light. Gluttony. Obviously, I'd recommend running a team that's a little more elementally... Okay, so now, with all the money I have, I can just place a unit down. Spend $1 million. True Dragon. And now I can make ultimate skills. Now, I will say it is already wave 19, so, you're not going to get this set up until very late. But I could literally just grab Yogg-Sothoth, and I think I need to grab Cthulhu. Oh no, you do have to have all the ultimates made, I think. To unlock that. I didn't know that. But you could just do that, and boom, now you have that. You could probably set that up quicker. I think I did kind of slow. But he's just not... This form is not designed for that. Plus, they don't actually even do as much damage. No, I think that's because it's a difference of kills and not having all of the passive setup. But if I can set that up at wave 20 for 30 wave modes, it's going to be good for again, literally anything longer than 20. And so he's the best unit for boss rushes, the best unit for dungeons, I believe, which are 30 waves, maybe 25, I don't remember. I haven't done a dungeon in forever. Survivals? No, I probably wouldn't. Because these don't go super far in waves, and you need good early units. But he's still very, very good. Is there anything I missed? I want to double check CL form. There's access to reality warping. You automatically absorb a random element every 100 seconds. I think that just gives you the magic skill, not a manipulation, which isn't very useful. And then automatically absorb every 25th enemy killed in range. Absorption. Sorry, my bad. I assume that's just using what Gluttony uses, which also, again, just gives you... I keep walking into things. I'm going to stop moving around so I can actually eat stuff. But Gluttony for enemies, it just consumes all enemies in range for their magic skill. Does nothing. It, again, doesn't give manipulation. So I wouldn't use CL form. I mean, technically, you could use reality warping and Gluttony before switching to CL form, and then it would just auto-make all your advanced ones, but I'd personally go True Dragon every time. It is a little bit of micromanaging, but even that, it's not too bad. The cosmetic is really weak, I'm not gonna lie. It's just the arm cuffs and a little bit of an effect. There were supposed to be skins, I had thought, but I don't think they released them. if you're trying to grind the Halloween mode, put Simon back on. You just run this team. I know that means you have to get the godly and get all the new stuff, but the capsules are really cheap. I wouldn't really bother summoning. And because the capsules are really cheap and you get so much of the currency, you could easily get the new units, get some glitched potions, and kind of just buff yourself up. Alright, that wraps up today's video. Hopefully I explained well how Rimuru works and showed off everything that I need to for him. If there's anything I missed or you have any questions about stuff, put them down in the comments below. I will read through them and try and answer to the best of my ability. Because this godly is truthfully a little complicated, and I don't blame anyone for not understanding how he works or how to optimize him or whatnot. Obviously I think what I showed was not maybe the best for speed setting him up. So if you want to do that, I think there's better ways to do it, but I would prioritize getting the maximum amount of damage as possible, which will take longer, but pays off more in the end. But yeah, that's all for today's video. If you watched all the way to the end, I'd appreciate it if you please leave a like and subscribe, as it would greatly support my channel. Check out the Twitch. Feel free to join the Discord. It's not a whole lot that goes on there, but if you want to join, feel free. All of my uploads will show up in channels there, so you might be able to catch them earlier. And feel free to check out the main channel, quote unquote. I've mostly been uploading Silksong there. I'm a little behind because of the issue with my editing software, as I said before. But I'd appreciate if you check that out, because I'll probably over time more uploads will be over there than over here. I think that's just how it's going to be. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.